labor organizer. Everybody that's a member of a union, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you all, my fellow unionists. Gene has been an organizer and activist for at least 50 odd years of his odd years of life. And as I said, Jane called and said, Gene wants an invitation. Gene can come anytime, talk anytime you want to. And I think this topic is particularly interesting. I don't know the twist that he's going to use on the day after the November election, but we need to be thinking about November 4th, even if it's 100 days from now, because we may or may not still have a republic. So Gene, let me turn the floor over to you.
I like to speak to older people because they remember things. For example, raise your hand if you remember, where is French Indochina?
Do you need change for that?
there.
You were there, right? All right.
Do you need change?
All right, now raise your hand if you know what you gotta do if your mommy is a commie. It's in the song. You just come in the door and take the first turn to the right. Be careful when you get there. We'd hate to be bereft, but we're taking down the names of everybody turning left. Who knows? If your mommy is a commie, what do you gotta do?
Who did that song?
You gotta turn her in. It's in the song.
That sounds like something Tom Lehrer would have written.
How many of you
Gene, that's
think?
predating
How many of
me.
you think that November the 3rd is going to turn out to be the most important day in American history? Okay, thank you. Put your hands down. How many of you think it's going to be November 4th? I'm in that last group. It's going to be November 4th. Because try as we might to campaign decently and to do decent things and to tell the truth, we don't live in that world anymore. We live in a world where there's a crook and a corrupt bunch of people running the government with connections to the Army, to the Navy, to the Air Force, and to the Space Cadets, and to the Border Patrol, and the police, and especially ICE.
Yes.
Now in 2020, you know what Mr. Trump did when he lost the election.
Yep.
He didn't stop at legal stuff. He did, he had his lawyers file this and that. But legal stuff was only the beginning. He's going to do the exact same thing again, starting November the 4th, assuming that he loses, assuming that they haven't rigged everything by then. Then assuming that they lose, we're going to have a constitutional crisis. We're going to have a physical crisis in the United States beginning on November 4th. What we have to do between now and then is get organized and get everybody organized, because we're going to be left with extra election stuff that's outside the electoral arena. I mean, I know we have to work ourselves crazy between now and November the 4th to pile up the biggest possible vote. That won't stop them from trying to overthrow everything that they lose. So we're going to need, at that point, we're going to have to hit the streets. We're going to have to start asking people to take off work. We're going to have to start doing boycotts, things that are not within the electoral arena. They'll go outside the electoral arena immediately. They always have. They did in 2020, and they will again. Only this time with a lot more firepower. Last time, what did they have? 5,000 nuts, rabble, that they could convince to attack the Capitol. This time, it's a lot more. Just the masked ICE agents who apparently have no regard for the law.
Or life.
Or anybody's life. Or any kind of decency. So look out. Now on the good side, I can report something very important that happened, I believe, Wednesday night. And to my surprise, Cardell Coleman, who is the chairman of Democrats of Dallas, called a meeting, and in the meeting were the people who organized the biggest demonstrations we have seen over the last few decades, beginning with Domingo Garcia, who takes credit for having organized the mega march in 2006 with 500,000 people. He was there. In fact, he was one of the main spokespersons. Also, there were Women's March. I don't remember the woman's name. But Women's March in 2017 brought out the most people that had ever been brought out in America up until that time. And Indivisible. And the people who did No Kings together. So, and they are the ones who have brought the most people out in American history. And I know you were among them. So the good news is that the Democrats over in Dallas County are starting to put together a coalition of everybody who's opposed to the Trump administration. And I was afraid this would happen, because I had already started trying to build a united front, you know. And I thought, well, if the Democrats take it over, they won't let anybody else talk. But Cardell Coleman specifically said he was going to invite the Palestinian youth movement.
Yeah.
And whoever else is opposed to the Trump administration. So if you're a student of history, you know what a popular front is. They had them in France prior to the Nazi takeover. It's a coalition of everybody, including some of the bosses, some of the very wealthy, the ones that are against Trump. So they are beginning to put together a popular front to oppose the Trump extravaganza that will start September the 9th and 10th. Now, the downside of September 9th and 10th, and I think the Republicans planned it this way on purpose, is that it's a Wednesday and a Thursday. So even though we are planning big demonstrations and big protests and everything, it's hard to get people out on work days. So we're also planning, with my urging, to have a streaming service to run through the entire event, so that we will be able to publicize our speakers and and the answer to the Trump extravaganza. Now, originally Trump called this a midterm convention, and it was the first time the Republicans had ever had one, I think. But now they're just admitting what it really is. It's a fundraiser for Trump and the Trump forces. So the good news is that we are fighting back, and that we're not just lying down, we're not just lambs. I was so impressed when you went around talking about all the things that you're doing to win on November 3rd. I thought, wow, we need this over in Dallas County, because this is great. But don't forget, when you're winning on November 3rd, don't forget November 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.